This is the video lecture on an introduction to harmonization. And I'm out here in Florida recording this, and so nice balmy weather here today. When we are looking at the harmonization of chorales, there's a few things to be mindful of. It can get kind of complex learning how to do harmonization, what's called part writing. It's a very important skill, it's an art. But it doesn't need to be taught in a complex and uninspiring manner. A lot of times, and you would know this if you've taken advanced music theory, the harmonization of chorales and part writing is taught almost like an oral matrix cube. Very analytical, very uninspiring. And I don't believe really that's the way that the great composers learned. I think that's the way a lot of theorists learn, but I don't think it's the way good composers learn. And the whole point is that we're trying to learn how to write four-part harmony so that it's beautiful and so that it's smooth. And the great composers didn't learn that through rules. They learned it through performance, through listening, through imitating, through writing like the masters did. And yet, like anything, there's a technique to be learned, and that technique can sometimes be a little uninspiring at first. So we want to bring two things together. We want to bring the inspiration of composition along with the science of the technique. When I was first learning part writing, and we had the part writing rules, I didn't understand why we had the rules. You know, I wanted to compose, and a lot of my compositions were somewhat contemporary in nature, and broke a lot of the rules. So I would write, and I'd flunk my assignments because I'm wanting to compose freely. The point of learning how to harmonize is first to learn how to harmonize in a Baroque and classical way. And the reason for that is because that is really the pinnacle of Western harmony, would have been during the time of the 17th and 18th centuries. And when you learn those part writing rules, you learn to write smoothly. And then from that, you can break all the rules you want once you know what you're doing and what sounds good. The part writing rules didn't evolve as rules. They evolved from analysts who looked at the music to figure out, well, why is music sounding good this way, and it doesn't sound good when it's written this way. And so that's why we learn the rules. And basically, there are a set of rules that show us why Bach and his contemporaries, and for the next 100 years, when they would write four-part harmony, how they did it, how they got from one chord to the next and made the voice leading sound beautiful. If you have ever composed for voices, four-part voices, or even instruments, and you've listened to it, it sounded great on your computer or on your keyboard, and then you listen to a live group do it, and if you've ever had the experience of listening to it and you go, well, I mean, those are the harmonies I'm wanting, but there's something wrong in how it's going, the flow from one chord to another. That's a term called harmonic rhythm. The harmonic rhythm doesn't sound right. Well, it's because you're not following some common voice leadings. Now, if you're wanting an effect, and you're purposefully wanting an effect, or you're purposefully wanting to write with parallelism, that's a whole different situation, and you're going to be writing according to those kinds of rules that a lot of us just intuit as composers. So that's what we're doing here. We're learning these rules on harmonization. The way I teach these rules is on the next lecture is a combination of two things: reviewing the basic rules, having you write out those parts, and then I'm going to take you through each of those rules and show you how in your own harmonizations how these will apply. And so we're going to take that up now on the next lecture.